What's up, nerds? We're your hosts this week. I'm Chad.
I'm Jake.
This week we're sponsored by Ray's Energy Drinks.
We're also sponsored by Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce.
So this week we'll be talking about the season finale of Hawkeye on Disney Plus.
Oh,
Oh,
we will also be talking about. We will also be continuing our deep dive into the Harry Potter movies with Prisoner of Azkaban.
such a good movie.
So let's just get into it. This is the All Things Nerd podcast.
Nerd. Welcome back, nerds, to the All Things Nerd podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. So, Jake, you looking pretty dapper.
I am looking pretty dapper. You look pretty fly yourself, my guy.
Oh, for a white guy, though, right? Pretty fly for a white guy.
You
Yeah.
asked for a 13, but they drew a 31. Whatever. Nobody under the age of like 30 will ever get that. But
Yeah.
anyways,
So we are dressed up because we won't get a chance to podcast before the New Year's. So we
by
thought
the time,
we would
yeah,
do this.
by the time you guys see this, it'll be a couple days from the New Year's, and this is our way of celebrating it with you guys. So
Yeah, so we hope that you guys have a good holiday coming up, as well as we hope that you guys had a good holiday this past week as well. Speaking of Jake, how was your holiday?
I had a really good time. This is my first Christmas with my girlfriend of a year now, and she got me Vikings tickets, which a lot of you out there are like, dude, the Vikings suck, and it's like that's not the point. I love the Vikings. I bleed purple, and she got
look right over your shoulder, like there's Viking stuff in the corner.
yeah, and she got row 8. I mean, we're the 8th row from the field. That's amazing.
Wild.
Yeah, I'm super
It's gonna be
excited
so
about
fun.
it.
I haven't been to the new stadium yet.
No, I've been in there, but not during a game.
Okay.
I went in there when it first opened.
Oh,
When they were doing like tours and shit. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm fucking stoked about it. What about you? You get anything cool?
So my family is super like non-traditional when it comes to like holidays,
No.
and also like, so I didn't get to spend it with like my mom or my grandma. So it's just me and my dad this year. So like, we just kind of like did presents early. Like my mom got me a new record player, which was super dope. Absolutely love it. So I celebrated by playing the Augsburg's Red.
Didn't you just buy a new record player?
No, that she bought it for me for Christmas. She said it was for Christmas, but I got it early.
Gotcha.
So Christmas Day, I threw on the August Burns Red instrumental Christmas album, and that's the only Christmas music I've listened to so far this year, and I'm very okay with that. And then my dad and we ordered Chinese food and went and saw a movie, and it was awesome. We went and saw The Kingsman. I know that you're not a huge fan of like the Kingsman films, but this one I really enjoyed it because it's historical fiction. So it's World War I. It was awesome. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. But I think the greatest thing was that on Christmas Eve, I signed a lease for my new apartment.
Where is your new apartment?
Oh, it's in Minnesota.
Oh.
Yeah.
We can get back to doing these not all the time, but like we can get back to doing these podcasts in person.
Yeah.
It's so excited.
I'm really excited about that. So, yeah, first weekend of February, I move.
Yeah.
You're coming out and helping, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think so.
Now it's on record.
Something really embarrassing happened to me.
Okay.
On Christmas Day.
Yes. Yes.
I already told you about it. So one of my best friends, his name's Mike. and I, we've been friends since the 5th grade. And when we are in the same room together, we get very grabby uh, at each other.
Yeah, very bromosexual.
Yeah. And I was at my girlfriend Nicole's parents' house for Christmas. And out of my peripheral vision, I see Mike. And I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna grab a little side, you know? So I just gave him a quick little pinch as I was walking to grab my plate of food. Not just a pinch. I didn't just go cute. I went and gave it a handshake, And then and and as I get up to the stove where the food is, and I look up and Mike is standing in front of me, and I'm like, huh, who did I just pinch? And I turn around, and my girlfriend's stepdad is looking at me like, the hell, dude? And I was like, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. It was the most awkward. Yeah, I have a feeling that it's one of those things that's just never going to go away now.
I would assume not.
Yeah.
So also, guys, before we get into the actual episode, we just want to make a quick mention that this week's episode, not a sponsor yet, but is brought to you by Horseshadder's Slow and Low Rock and Rye Whiskey. Absolutely delicious. It's my favorite whiskey. Yeah. It's not my favorite like bourbon, scotch, anything like that, but it's my favorite go-to sipping whiskey. So
yeah, fucking delicious.
It's an old-fashioned in a glass without all the sugar.
Yeah. You add a cherry and a orange slice to that.
Yeah, it's aged in the barrel with orange slices and honey. So you add a muddled cherry and a little bit of orange to it, and you're good to go. But with that being said, want to know what else has a lot of great flavors? Our first sponsor.
Nice. Nice.
So this week we are sponsored by Ray's Energy Drinks. Fantastic energy drink with tons of flavors and options, a little bit of everything for everyone. Fantastic. 0 sugar, 0 calories, 0 crash, as well as, pre-workouts, protein-packed desserts, all kinds of great stuff. Listen up, you'll learn how to save 15%. We'll be right back with you to talk about the season finale of Hawkeye. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Ray's Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with 0 crash. Ray's Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, empowered by their refresh formula technology, Ray's Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Ray's Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you.
God damn it. All right, guys. We are going to dive into Hawkeye, the season finale. This show is the tits.
It's
the tits.
So good.
Yeah.
Because in the grand scheme of things, it's a small story, but it really is character driven.
This is where I'm gonna spoiler alert right now. Okay.
Oh, good. Because we always forget to do it right away.
If you haven't seen it, fuck off, come back later. If you haven't seen Spider-Man, fuck off, come back later. This is what Marvel is so fucking good at. Disney's Marvel is so fucking good at is that the episode before this one, they show Kingpin in a picture with
Eleanor
Bishop's mom.
Kate Bishop's mom, yeah.
And then that weekend, Spider-Man 3 came out, where Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, makes an appearance. Then the weekend after that, this episode comes out, and Kingpin has a huge role in this episode. And fucking, they planned that so fucking perfectly.
Because it's and also it's Vincent D'Onofrio, who was Wilson Fisk, Kingpin in the Netflix Daredevil show.
Yeah.
With Charlie Cox, who was Matt Murdock and Daredevil, and it was Charlie Cox that was in No Way Home
as Peter Parker's lawyer.
Yeah.
As we mentioned last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just they're so good. Like timing wise. Granted, I've seen a lot of things online where this episode or this series takes place after No Way Home, the following year.
Whatever. It ties it together and it's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was absolutely. Sorry, my Siri went off and I was like, shut the fuck up.
He smacked her right in the face.
Oh, so hard. But just the fact that they tie in. I mean, still wintertime, which is absolutely, awesome. Because we've only seen ideal weather situations for majority of, except for 2 sad scenes in the MCU.
Yeah.
One of them was when Thor in the first one goes to pick up his hammer and can't, and it's raining. And the other one was with Jeremy Renner as Ronan in Japan during Endgame. It's raining. Other than that, it's clear skies all the time.
Fuck off, camera. I saw that. I'm not gonna touch the table. You can't touch the table.
I was wondering if you saw
camera's
that.
Gonna...
You can't touch this.
I just went Spider-Verse for a second. It was like.
But like Jake said, Kingpin does have a huge role in this episode. We actually get to see Vincent D'Onofrio deliver lines
as Kingpin,
and
the same Kingpin from the Daredevil Netflix series.
Yeah,
I didn't even touch the table, and it did it again.
It might cut out here in a second, but I saw online that the reason that Kingpin is just kind of becoming a thing, and same with why in No Way Home everyone was shocked when Matt Murdock went to catch the brick, so was because that Daredevil became a thing in the MCU during the blip. No Way Home takes place just months after the blip, 6-8 months. So a lot of people don't know who Daredevil is because they were gone, and he kind of rose to fill those shoes because Spider-Man was gone for 5 years. Same with Wilson Fisk rose to power as kind of the corporate / crime boss because during the blip so many people were gone.
Amazing.
It's just a fun little fan theory that I saw online, and it makes a lot of sense.
I love it. We get to see that I don't want to spend a ton of time on the but anyways, Jack, who basically Kate Bishop has been, I almost said pegging as a bad guy.
She was, but that's just an inopportune phrase for a female character pegging a male.
She had him pegged as the bad guy. That for the entire series, it turns out that he was set up.
He's just kind of he's a rich dude that is skilled.
He's a dork, but
he is.
But he's also a skilled swordsman, so he ends up helping Kate Bishop. It was cool.
it's cool because they call him in the show Jack Duquesne, but in the comics, his name is Jacques Duquesne, and he is known as the swordsman. He's kind of like towed the line of sometimes helps, sometimes is a villain sort of guy. Yeah. And they set it up perfectly to where he can continue to actually be that character, which is cool. But obviously in the comics, he's a skilled swordsman. Otherwise, why would he go by the name swordsman?
It's actually really funny because I took French in like 9th grade, and my name in French is Jacques.
Yeah, Jacques.
Jacques.
For Jake.
Yeah.
In case people didn't put that together.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Whoa, I got weird for a second.
Yeah, just a lot of like eye contact. But so, like it was mentioned a few episodes ago, you know, there's like the Bishop security, you know, Kate's mom's corporate Christmas party. And Kate and Clint decide that that's where they're going to go to the Christmas party, basically to confront Kate's mom, who they learn has been working for Kingpin basically since the Battle of New York. And
when Kate's dad died.
Yeah, because he owed a lot of money, and just since then, Kingpin has grown from just like mob boss to like the dark looming shadow behind everything.
Yeah.
So they're gonna go and confront Eleanor Bishop and basically take her in, basically to figure out what's going on. I'm saying basically a lot. I'm so basically sorry. Basically,
he's basically sorry.
But during that time, the Christmas party gets attacked, but they have some added security from the LARPers, which turns out it's funny, it's hilarious, but they actually are helpful.
But it works, yeah.
Yeah, it works, but it's just hilarious. Yeah. They basically show up as they're all like wait staff.
Mm-hmm. But then at some point they change into their LARPing uniform.
Yeah, they're like, no one's listening to us. What are we going to do? Oh, man,
we should totally reach out to Joel about that because I bet he would love that.
I'm sure he would. I bet he's also just very happy with how much LARP actually ended up being included in this series. I know I am. I already have like 2 character costumes like set aside as to like how I'm going to build so I can like join the LARP community.
Oh, yeah.
So get on
Well, I don't know about... I haven't put anything together for LARPing yet, but I do know that I want to... the next Comic-Con we go to, I'm going to go as Batman Beyond. I showed you the costume that I'm in.
Yeah.
Or at least I got a stencil on and I got to figure out the helmet, but yeah.
I'm going to go as Red Guardian because the next Comic-Con I'm sure I will not be as thin as I'm trying to get down to. Anyways. During this Christmas party during the lockdown, when like the attack happens, the red tracksuits are basically trying to kill Clint and Kate still. Mm-hmm. But Yelena is there to kill Clint.
This is like this is probably like my favorite scene of the whole episode is, Yelena and Kate Bishop have a fight scene where they're like, basically Yelena is trying to kill Clint. Kate Bishop is trying to stop Yelena from killing Clint, and they're like running through like a corporate like office building and like fighting each other and throwing each other through shit. And but like Yelena, like she likes Kate Bishop.
Yeah, they keep like Kate even says like, stop being so likable.
Yeah. And like
Yelena's like, sorry, I can't help it.
Don't they say at one point like stop pulling your punches or something? I don't remember.
No, Kate, to try and distract Yelena, is like, hey, we should go out for drinks.
Yeah.
And Yelena's like, I would really like that. Like, seriously, I would like that. And Kate's like, okay, let's go. She's like, no, I gotta, after I kill Clint Barton, then we can go out for drinks.
And there's like a part where Kate like just fucking Sparta kicks Yelena through like a doorway, and she's like, ow, Kate Bishop, that really hurt. That was very good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, there's just a ton of shit like that
And Yelena
during
like
their fight.
grabs Kate's arm and she's like wearing like a jacket
Oh
and
yeah.
like spins out of it and she's like in her archer like uniform gear and Yelena's like, "Did you mean to do that?" And Kate's like, "Yeah." And then Yelena's like, "Don't lie to me." And Kate's like, "No, I didn't mean to do that." like I
I love
want
it.
them to be best friends.
Yeah, it's very funny like relationship that the two of them have. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. Uh, yeah. What else?
But we
Chad,
also get to see.
Chadley.
Oh, your girlfriend's not here. You can't call me that.
I can do whatever I want.
Mm-mm. It's just for Nicole. You hear that, Nicole? Just for you. But we also get to see Clint wears his new costume. It's not as like Silver Age comic accurate, but like the new
It's
age,
purple.
like the ultimate has like the the arrow tail.
Yeah. It's purple.
It's black and purple, but yeah. But
doesn't have the
like the
mask,
hawk
but
wings with the H on the forehead that we saw Kate Bishop draw on like a diner napkin earlier in the series. But we do get to see him in his costume, and he's like, "Yeah, I like it. Like it makes sense for him. It's cool."
Yeah.
But we also get to see that Echo.
Yeah.
Maya Lopez. She's already doubting the Kingpin. And
well, after the last episode where Clint basically told her like, "Hey, like Kingpin put the hit out on your dad. It wasn't me. I'm the one who did it, but Kingpin
he was tipped off by an informant.
Pointed me in that direction."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but so she's asking for time off. Just to collect her head. Get herself right. At least that's what she tells Wilson Fisk, Vincent D'Onofrio. And he like gives her. He says, "Yes, of course. Like we're family. I love you." Because if you guys have missed it, Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, is Uncle that they've been referring to for multiple episodes now. Yeah. They're like, shit, what are we going to do about her? We're going to have to kill her. Yeah. But so she confronts Kazi, who's like her best friend, bordering on lover. Like they definitely have like a bond that's more than just like best friends. They get into it and they fight. And what happens, Jake? During their fight.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like looking at the paper. Oh, well, I mean, she kills him, so.
Yeah, it's not great.
Not for him anyway. Yeah, it's
But it's a great progression because we know that we're gonna get a spin-off series of Echo,
which Matt Murdock is supposed to be a huge part of.
You would assume so because they in the comics become lovers.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that like Matt Murdock and Daredevil has like their like extra senses where they can like basically like see motion even though they're blind. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But like she can't talk, so she has to sign. So like he has to like use extra powers to like
because he can't see. Yeah. So yeah.
And she can't hear, so like he can't just like talk back. So like it's gonna be really interesting to see. Like I hope that they go with that like progression of like the love interest because I think it would make for like a really great character development. Sorry, I got really off topic on that.
You're good. You're good.
But so then Yelena and Clint end up fighting.
Woo!
Not
finally.
I mean, we also skipped over like a huge fight scene just with Clint and Kate in the Rockefeller ice rink,
Oh yeah.
fighting off like the
It was like
tracksuits.
bow and arrows. They were using all sorts of
Lots of
explosions
trick
and
arrows. It was really fun
yeah,
to watch, but it
yeah,
was a fight scene. It didn't do much
yeah,
for the actual story, except for the
yeah,
fact that he's like, "We're partners,"
yeah,
and she's like, "Oh, I love
yeah.
you."
Yeah.
uh, but
But
Yelena
then
and Clint do
Yelena
finally
comes
fight.
in. Yeah, they fight. It's dope.
It's Clint. It does not look good for Clint for most of that fight. He
But he doesn't like.
fight back.
He doesn't really fight back. He like does a bunch of defensive shit, but he doesn't actually like do any striking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he knows through Kate that it's Yelena, that it's Natasha's sister,
Hmm.
and if she's dead set on killing him, he's like, "This is my fate. Like I'm not gonna stop it. It's her sister. I would never do this
Hmm.
to her memory, to the family, whatever."
Yeah.
And then there's like this whole Batman v Superman like Martha moment that ends the fight, and it's just
Yes. Yes.
like we all knew going into this that like
Yelena's not a bad guy.
and that there was like a 98% chance that she doesn't actually kill Clint.
Yeah.
Especially because the first episode that she's in, she had the opportunity and didn't.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a callback to the Black Widow film where Yelena and Natasha have like a secret whistle,
Hmm.
and Clint does that, and Yelena's like, "Why'd you
How
say?
did you know that?
Why'd
Yeah.
you say that name?
Yeah.
I mean, how did you know about that?"
It's his mother. It's his mother's name.
Jesus Christ. But basically, what happens from there, Jake? I feel like I've just been dominating this, and I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I don't care. I don't. This is just what we do. We just talk shit. Uh, whatever. Basically, she's like, "Why'd you make that noise, that whistle?" And he's like, "Your sister taught it to me." Blah blah blah. And then he's like, "She talked about you all the time." And Yelena's like, "She did. What did she say?" And then he says some nice things, and she's like, "Oh, I don't want to kill you anymore." And
Well, I mean, they do have like a heart to heart, and he's like, throughout the fight, he's like, "I didn't kill her. Like she sacrificed herself. It was to save the world. Like
yeah,
I would never do this." And then when he does the whistle, it's kind of like the final.
yeah.
Again, very Batman v Superman, where Superman's like, "I need your help, Bruce," and Bruce is like, "I'm gonna kill you."
You're letting them kill Martha. Why'd you say that name?
And then Jeremy Irons from across the Rockefeller ice rink's like, "It's important."
Yeah,
And then Amy Adams comes running in for no reason
yeah. It's
because
his mother's name.
she was in Gotham originally.
Oh my God, he has a mother. I guess I won't kill him.
Oh no, he has a mom that has the same name as mine, and we're both roughly in our 30s to 40s, which puts like the 70s to 80s, where Martha was a very common name. We have so much in common.
Yeah.
He grew up on a farm. I grew up as a billionaire. What? Sorry, somehow as we were like trying to talk about this episode and praise it for how great it was, we shit on a...
It was really great. I enjoyed it so much. Couple other things that happened. We gotta fight through this. We still have
Kate
Harry
just like
Potter
beats
to
the
talk about.
shit out of Kingpin.
Does she? She wins.
She gets the
fight.
upper... Yeah, she doesn't beat the
She
shit out,
wins
but
the
she gets
fight,
the upper hand.
but Kingpin just tosses her salad up and down that store.
Like groceries, you know?
Yeah. He literally just like throws her around.
She shoots him in the chest with an arrow, and he goes, "Ugh," and like breaks
Yeah.
the arrow off. So there's still an arrow like sticking inside of him.
Yeah. And then I mean, realistically, the way that she ends the fight is she throws all he takes her
Quiver, but yeah.
quiver, yeah, and breaks it in half, all of her arrows, and throws it on the ground. And she's like, okay. and she shoots an arrow at all
No,
of the arrows.
she flicks.
Oh,
When,
yeah, that's right.
when he picks her up, she takes
Yeah.
his cufflink, which is
Yeah.
the same
And-
cufflinks from the Daredevil TV series.
Yeah. And does
Gets
the
tossed.
bottle cap flick
Yeah.
and blows up all the arrows.
It hits
all of the arrows.
It hits the number one arrow that Clint was like, this one is the most dangerous. And
Yeah.
she just labels it as too dangerous.
Yeah. And then she tosses his salad. And yeah.
Yeah, and then she, arrests her mom, and her mom is just a gaslighting cunt. I mean,
Yeah.
bitch. Sorry.
Woo!
Sorry,
She
Mom.
is super cunty.
Hit her with a hard T.
Yeah. She's like, oh, really, Kate? This is what heroes do? You're going to arrest your mom on Christmas? And it was like, well, yeah, you killed a bunch
you're
of people.
kind of
here.
a bitch and you work for the mob.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. All right, cross that
This
out.
is all I got to say about that.
I'm
I'm just making tea, guys. Don't worry about it.
they
For those of you that can watch that on YouTube.
basically the cops go to arrest Kingpin after Kate whipped his ass.
He gone.
He's not there.
We see him stumbling through an alleyway where Maya is waiting for him, and he's like, "We're family." And then she points a gun at his face. It ominously pans up, so we don't see her actually pull the trigger. You hear a gunshot and a body hit the ground.
And you see like a flash of like the gunshot, like
Yeah, like in the alleyway.
yeah.
Everyone thinks that means that Kingpin had a very short-lived run in this, and that it was just fan service. I completely disagree.
Yeah. Not true.
No, because that is
Back.
a scene-for-scene grab from the comics, where Maya, when she denies Kingpin as her in the comics, he's like a stepfather, adoptive father. She denies him. They get into a fight. She pulls a gun on him, shoots him in the face. He doesn't die because it's Kingpin, and he's like, even though he's like a massive human being, he is 99% just dense muscle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Basically, she just like shoots his eyes out. Because she uses a Red Ryder, BB gun. There's a Christmas joke, you filthy animal. No,
Keep going.
she shoots him in the face. It blinds him in the comics. Blinds him. He doesn't die. Whatever. I think that's what actually happened. Was that she probably just like shot him in the. I don't think that I doubt that they'll go with the shooting him in the face because it's not realistic.
Maybe.
In the terms of the MCU is based more heavily in realism, if you don't count, all 23 movies. But she probably does shoot him, and then he just like drops to like
whatever. Yeah.
survive.
I'm sure it's. I don't know.
They'll explain it because
Yeah.
like they have an entire Echo series coming out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he ain't dead.
And we know that Daredevil is going to be a big part of like She-Hulk, the Echo series, like.
And
So,
also,
I
I think
assume
that the
Kingpin will
entire
also-
purpose of like the final scene of Spider-Man's No Way Home showing like the Rockefeller Center in Christmas time was just to tease locations to be like,
Yeah.
these are all connected, even though they're at different times. So like, and Kingpin's a big thing of Spider-Man as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think that's all going to happen.
And then lastly, we get. Oh man.
Christmas Day. Clint
Christmas
makes it
Day.
home for Christmas.
Yeah, he finally made it. And then he gets out of the car. And he's like, "Are you coming?" And Kate Bishop jumps out. The dog, Lucky.
And they finally call him by his name of Lucky.
Yeah.
His
the
full
dog.
name is Lucky the Pizza Dog, but
Yeah.
they call him Lucky.
Yeah. And they confirm that the watch did belong to
Laura.
Clint's wife. Yeah. Which
But
proves that.
when she flips the Rolex over, it's the shield symbol, and engraved with the shield symbol is the number 19,
Mhm.
which is for Agent 19. In the comics, Agent 19 was Barbara Morris, Bobby,
Yeah.
also known as Mockingbird.
Mm.
But they have this connection in the comics. Barbara Morris and Clint do get married for a while. So either Laura is just replacing the Barbara Morris aspect, or Laura's just an alias. And a
Yeah.
lot of people are pissed because, like, Bobby Morris was a thing in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show. But basically, since, like, season 2 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it has not been canon because they introduced Inhumans, yada, yada, yada. People are just, like, upset about this. And it's like, why? They take place in different universes. They explain in the final season of... I don't want to get worked up because I love the show also. But, like, I think it's awesome because it also proves RDJ correct in Age of Ultron when they get to the safe house and, like, we see Laura for the first time. He's like, that's an agent of some kind.
Yeah. These are
Here.
smaller agents.
But, like, she was an agent.
Yeah.
Like, she was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is just absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And we do get an end credit scene in this episode show. It's not... It doesn't do anything for the story.
Yeah. It's just a full-on musical number.
It's the full musical number from Rogers, the musical.
Rogers, the musical.
The only thing that's cool about this, for me, as someone who loves musical theater, I grew up with it. I had friends in musical theater, like all that stuff. The song was written by a Broadway producer, writer, and then a lot of the actors that they actually used for those scenes, like in the first episode especially, which they use in this as well, are all actual Broadway actors and musicians, which is it's just kind of like a nice like nod. But the end credit scene is just nothing.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of nothing. It really is.
And that being said, let's get into sponsor number 2. Sponsor number 2 is Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce. Pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce. It goes in practically anything. Listen up, and we will tell you a little more about it.
Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today. All right, so to wrap up this week's episode, we're going to continue our throwback dive into the Harry Potter films. This week we're going to dive into movie number 3, which correlates with book number 3 of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Assband, yes.
This is debatably for me. This one and Half-Blood Prince are probably my 2 favorite books.
Yeah, it's definitely up there for me. Also because like this movie has a very like tonality shift compared to the first 2.
Yeah, the first 2 are very kiddie. This one takes a much darker turn.
And much more true to the books in terms of like the mood that it sets. Because even though the first couple of books are very much to like get you in and hook you on it, like they are a lot darker in the books compared to the movies.
Yeah.
And this is when it finally starts to actually like reflect that.
Yeah.
Love this movie.
I do too. For some reason I wrote down "fuck this, I'm out," and I can't remember.
Oh, because Harry runs away.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Fuck this
Yeah.
shit, I'm out.
Harry runs away from his aunt and her husband, and Dudley. Um, after,
After he blows up his aunt.
yeah. Oh, and
Not like
we get introduced to Dobby in this movie,
no, that was last movie.
huh?
Yeah, Chamber of Secrets is Dobby.
Oh, that is right. You're right. My
Yeah,
bad.
we talked about Dobby.
He drops the cake on her, not blows her up. My bad. My bad. My
Yep.
bad. Yeah.
But yeah, basically this other aunt is Uncle Vernon, so not blood family. It's
His aunt is. It's
his aunt is
mom's
his mom's
sister.
and
Yeah.
Vernon is his aunt's husband. So
Yeah.
still his uncle, but
Yeah.
not by blood.
Yeah.
But
He's a twat.
his sister comes to visit, and she's just the worst.
The worst.
Basically talks about how, like, because she doesn't know about the magic side, they hide that from her.
Yeah.
So she just thinks that Harry's like a fuck up and that his parents were fuck ups,
Yeah.
and she just
She
runs her mouth,
She just talks a lot of shit.
and Harry's like, that's it, and then just like stares at her moodily, and then she like inflates and flies away.
Floats away. It's hilarious.
It is great because Vernon tries to like stop her and is like holding on to her, and like she keeps like floating away, and Vernon like starts to lift off the ground, and she's like, don't let go, and he's like, huh, sorry. And he's like, fuck that shit, I'm out.
And then Harry basically is like, I'm fucking out of here. He grabs his suitcase and he's like, peace. As I wrote it down here, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. Yeah.
But as he's running away, he feels really uneasy, like, you know, someone's following him. Looks into the woods, and you just see like a dog, like snarling and looking at him. And it throughout the movie, that dog is kind of like portrayed as a bad omen that they call the Grim, basically meaning that like death and destruction is coming Harry's way.
Yeah.
We'll get further into that as it goes through, but throughout like this entire movie, that's an underlying theme of like death and despair towards Harry.
But wasn't the dog was serious, wasn't it?
It turns out that the dog is Sirius Black, who is an escaped convict, basically. He was in wizard jail.
He is the prisoner of Azkaban.
Yes, he is the prisoner of Azkaban. And he has a really weird grunge rock band called the Ass Band.
He's also Gary Oldman, which is awesome.
Yes. Gary Oldman is just...
Love Gary Oldman. Yeah.
Just phenomenal. But we get introduced to... in one scene, basically when everyone's on the train going back to Hogwarts, we get introduced to two characters at once. Or two major players. The first one is Remus Lupin, who ends up in this film is the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher.
Yeah, there's a different one every book.
They don't explain why in the movies, ever.
No.
So this is not really a spoiler for people that, well, everyone, the main people that we're trying to avoid spoilers for have...
It's been 20 years.
It's been 20 years.
Get your shit together.
In all of these movies, there's a new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher every year. They don't explain why in the movies. It's because Lord Voldemort cursed that role because Dumbledore denied his application and would not hire him as the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. Because he knew that Tom Riddle, as we learned in the second one, who is Lord Voldemort, he wanted just to like teach dark magic to kids and build an army to make him the greatest wizard of all time. He So they never explain in the movies. So like this is not a spoiler for the movies. But we do get to see Professor Lupin in this, which is great. But we also get introduced to the Dementors.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically like the
Soul-sucking
guards.
guardians of the prison Azkaban.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They basically just like bring out fear and then feed on that fear. And then if you get in their way, they'll just
Suck the soul out of you.
I was going to say that they would put you in a red t-shirt and then call Captain Kirk with bad news.
I was being gross about it, but yeah, sorry.
Yeah, just
Yeah. No, no. Uh.
sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just gotta
Sorry,
make
Mom.
I gotta make some tea really fast. Sorry, Mom. Oh, look, now they're dripping. That was a little bit too much. I'm just kidding. Just go in for it.
Holy shit. Oh, one of my favorite scenes in this movie.
Oh my god. So good.
Hermione Granger just fucking punches Draco Malfoy square in the face.
Square in the face.
Yeah, it's awesome. He's like, "You filthy mudblood," and she goes, "Whap!"
Well, first she like points her wand at him.
Yeah.
And he like cowers. He's like, no, please, 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 please. And then she like, and Ron's like, don't do it. He's not worth it. And she like puts her wand away, turns away, and he's like, I got away with it. Then just bam, just like knocked that fuck boy out.
Yeah, he's a pussy in every fucking movie.
I say that, but I love Tom Felton. I think that he's
totally
awesome.
Yeah,
in other movies, he's fantastic.
Draco Malfoy sucks.
Oh yeah, Malfoy sucks. But yeah, Tom Felton's actually like super awesome, and he's actually just like a super cool dude. From everything I've seen online, it could be all fake. I don't know. But the fun fact about that is that when filming that, she actually like Emma Watson actually punches Tom Felton in the face.
Good
for that scene. Cause like they did it where like she put like the wand up to his neck and he like cowers and they like turn away and then like he like is like and they're like that's not good enough. And I think it was Tom Felton's idea, from what if I'm remembering correctly from what I've heard online and through interviews. But he's like, what if she just like turns around and just like decks him? And that's exactly what she does. And like to get it right for filming, like she actually just like punches him in the face.
Good.
And it's like fantastic. I absolutely love
it. We get introduced to Sirius Black finally. Who is, it turns out he's not a bad guy. He's Harry's godfather.
Yeah. Best friends of Harry's dad. Well, and mom, but more so his dad. Like they're best friends growing up. And he just kind of was like almost like wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
When it comes time to when Harry's parents died.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll kind of get into that.
Yeah.
In a minute. But also part of this and how like Harry kind of like uncovers that truth and also like navigates through the castles. And now that they're like 30 years, they get to take like weekend trips to like the nearest village, which is it's called Hogsmeade.
Yeah, Hogsmeade, yep.
But they need like parental or guardian signature like permission slips. And because Harry also like blew up his aunt at the beginning of the movie, his uncle was like, I'm not signing that, fuck you.
Yeah, so he can't go.
So Fred and George, Ron's older brothers who are twins, they give him what's called the Marauders Map. and we get to see that it is Mooney, Padfoot, Prongs, and
Pettigrew.
yeah, but what do they call Pettigrew?
What do you mean? Peter Pettigrew.
Yeah, but what's his nickname? It's
I don't remember.
they basically use all their nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
Are the Marauders, and it's an enchanted map on parchment where it shows everyone in the castle, but it shows like hidden passageways out of the castle, things like this. And that's how like Harry's able to like navigate. He uses it a lot with like his invisibility cloak, like also moving on in the films. We'll get to that later. But you mentioned Pettigrew. Who is who?
Peter Pettigrew. It's Ron's pet. Scabbers.
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 But who was Peter Pettigrew before the tragedy?
Oh, he's Lord Voldemort's bitch.
But before that, spoiler alert, if you guys didn't catch that earlier, but Peter Pettigrew is also like part of like this core group of friends that was like Sirius Black, James Potter, Harry's father, and then Mooney is Professor Lupin.
Yeah.
And his nickname of being Mooney is because why?
You go. I have no idea.
Because he's a werewolf. The moon.
Oh yeah, duh. Yeah.
God, way to fuck that off.
I even wrote it on the paper.
Jesus. You fucking brothel sprout.
Well, that's why they fucking in the movie he's the defensive art or whatever teacher, and he's using what is it called?
It's called a boggart.
The boggart, which brings out like your worst fear. And for Harry, a Dementor comes out, and he steps in front of Harry, and he sees a full moon, which is because he's a werewolf. He's afraid of the full moon.
Yeah, because it's when he loses sense of who he is, loses control over himself. And we learn that the reason that Lupin jumps in front of the boggart for Harry is because he thought it was going to show Lord Voldemort.
Mm-hmm.
But instead it shows a Dementor who feeds on fear. And we get a very Winston Churchill moment of, it seems to be that the only thing you fear is fear itself.
We also wrote these down in a very different order.
Yeah, clearly we did.
I'm like, Dementors are down here for me, and Chad talks about it up here. Whoops.
But because Lupin is a werewolf, and despite that fact, Lupin, I mean...
He's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah. Easily one of my favorite characters, and it's been 20 years. He is an ongoing character.
Yeah.
And after this, he's just not...
He and Professor Moody, Mad-Eye Moody, are my favorite.
We'll get into next
week, I won't talk about it right now, but yeah.
Mad-Eye is dope. I cannot wait to
He's so good, yeah.
But because Lupin is a werewolf, we actually get to see him as a werewolf in this. And good God. This is probably one of my favorite werewolf interpretations.
Yeah.
Of like, probably, I don't want to say of all film, but
other than like Team Jacob and Twilight, you did tell me that you creamed yourself at that. Yeah.
No, because I was Team Edward. That's why I cream myself. No, that's also a lie. I don't know why I admitted to that. It's not true. Fake news. Sorry. No, but we actually get to we do get to see Lupin like transform into a werewolf. And what I loved about it was some of my favorite movies that involve like, because who doesn't know that the vampire werewolf conflict, right? So like I love the Underworld movies. The werewolves or lichens in that, like they're like beefcakes. Like
Yeah.
a normal person transforms into like this giant beast that's just like
Yeah.
ripped beyond belief.
Like me. I get it. That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Just like super muscular, fit, like the peak of human physique, just like Jake. Um, no, but like, they all get like super buff and like monstrous.
Yeah.
Or you go like the exact opposite and you go Twilight and they just become into oversized huskies.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
they're
Twilight was
basically
so bad.
dire wolves on crack. And by on crack, I mean they like highlighted the dire wolf and then just was like, can we make that 2 times the size? And
Yeah.
that's all I want to
Yeah.
change about it.
Yeah. It's like the Incredible Hulk now versus the Incredible Hulk before, the Eric Bana Hulk, where he turns into just a fucking like giant, like crazy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's like a fucking like a statue of a. Yeah, he's huge.
but then Harry Potter is like the 1970s Lou Ferrigno Hulk,
Yeah,
where
yes,
but with like better graphics.
yeah, it was fantastic. He looked awesome. He
It
was
was
lanky but
lanky,
muscular,
gangly, like
scraggly hair. Yeah, I loved
definitely
it.
like has elements of a wolf but can like stand on 2 feet like a
Mm-hmm.
human but
Mm-hmm.
runs better on four. Like this was easily one of the best like depictions of a werewolf
Yeah,
that makes sense and it was
yeah,
awesome.
it was great.
We also get to see like 1,000 Dementors like attack Harry and Sirius, and we learn about the Patronus charm, which like
Mm-hmm.
fights them off.
Yeah,
But also like Hermione is kind of like the hero of this entire movie
mm-hmm.
without being the hero of the entire movie. I mean, Hollywood with women, right? Too real? Okay, hashtag me too. Um, sorry, I should not have made that joke.
Should probably edit that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut that out.
Yeah. The Me Too movement was huge. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's super important.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I mean, like Hermione really is like the big hero of
Yeah.
this movie,
Mm-hmm.
but they really downplay it. But like
Mm-hmm.
she really is, and it's because throughout the movie we see her like popping up randomly in scenes that she wasn't there originally in, and it's because she has this thing called a time turner. And what does that do, Jake?
Allows her to be in multiple places at once, basically, so she can take more courses and learn more and be more of a know-it-all than she's ever been. Yeah.
But basically, the way that it works is that she like goes to throughout the movie and the book, she goes to like one class,
Yeah.
uses the time turner to go back in time, and go to another class at the exact same time.
And then Ron will be like, "What are you doing here? When did you get here? Was she here a minute ago? She wasn't here a minute
And they
ago."
even make a comment
Yeah.
when she's like, "Oh, in this class I learned this." And he's like, "Wait,
That's at the
that's
same
the same time as
this
this class that we have together."
Yeah.
And she's like, "How can I be in two places at once?"
Yeah.
And
Don't be ridiculous. Yeah.
but it turns out that she's literally using like
Yeah.
time travel to
Mhm.
do it.
Yeah.
And that's what they end up using to like rescue Sirius
Mhm.
at the end of everything, because it turns out that Peter Pettigrew was the one that actually like betrayed Harry's parents to Voldemort to have them murdered.
Yeah.
Also, we mentioned the whole Marauders map. I just have to talk about this because we got it from Fred and George, Ron's older brothers, right? Peter Pettigrew is a human disguised as a rat. We see
Ron's rat.
Ron's rat. We see in the movie Harry. This is how Harry learns that Peter Pettigrew is still alive, because he's believed to have been dead since his parents died.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking at the Marauders map, sees Peter Pettigrew running around the castle, Hogwarts, and is like, "What?" Turns out that Peter Pettigrew can transform into a rat. Since Harry saw Peter Pettigrew's name while he was still in rat form, it leads you to believe that means that Fred and George, Ron's older brothers, who know that Ron's rat, Scabbers, who is Peter Pettigrew,
Scabbers.
when they looked at the map, you'd assume Knightley for the past few years, because they're a few years older, see Ron sleeping in Hogwarts with, you would assume, Scabbers, but it says Peter Pettigrew. You see Ron sleeping with a man named Peter Pettigrew for years at this point in time, and they say nothing. They're like, our brother, sleeping with a dude. And they're like, whatever.
All jokes aside, though, it does explain why Hermione's cat fucking hates that thing.
Yes, because Hermione's cat is not just a cat. It's a magical beast that looks like a cat.
Yeah.
That
and
can
for
sense.
like two movies? 2 or 3 movies?
In the books, she gets it second year, but they don't really introduce Crookshanks until the third movie.
But that cat wants to kill that rat. Ooh.
Because the cat can sense that it's not a rat, but an evil wizard.
Yeah. And Ron is always like, keep your filthy cat away from Scabbers. He's like, what's wrong with that thing? But it's actually, the cat is actually good. It's funny.
In the books, they never mention it again.
Yeah.
After this movie. But in the books moving forward, after this whole Peter Pettigrew thing happens and Peter Pettigrew is like revealed to be a human, and spoiler alert, he gets away. Oh, who would have thought? Because like that would not further the plot at all. Crookshanks, Hermione's cat, then immediately, like, moving forward, just loves Ron.
Yeah.
Absolutely loves him. Just like wants to be around him at all times.
Last thing that I think that at least that I want to say is that on January 1st is the 20 fucking year. I can't believe it's been that long, but 20-year anniversary of Harry Potter. It's going to be on HBO Max. It's going to be a reunion special. I'm so excited to watch this. January 1st. Tune in. We'll probably talk about it on our next episode.
Yeah, but we might not go into details, but we'll talk about it because it's. I mean, for us, like we grew up on these movies.
Yeah,
like I remember.
And I grew up on these books.
Yeah, same.
When these books came out, I was in 9th grade when these books came out. I was reading these in English class.
Yeah.
Until fucking snobby ass bitches like parents were like, they're teaching witchcraft in our schools, and then like 20 years later they voted for Trump. Whatever.
Oh, weird. Oh.
But we were reading these books in English class when they first came out, and then parents got into the mix and got them thrown out of schools, unfortunately. But which we've mentioned before. I mean,
they came out before you were in 9th grade because you're only 4 years older than me.
No, I just said we started reading them in 9th grade. Yeah.
Because I remember in 3rd grade reading the first book. But yeah, I mean,
my English teacher dressed his name. What was it? Mr. Meyer, dressed up as Harry Potter for Halloween.
That's like so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. The 20.
My 4th grade teacher dressed up as Mrs. McGonagall.
The old lady. I thought you were talking about the girl with the big glasses.
Oh, Trelawney? No.
Yeah.
Not that one. But
anyways, 20-year anniversary. Holy balls. Here we are. At January 1st, and it is what it is. I'm super excited about it.
It changed our generation. It really did.
Yeah. Until, that J.K. Rowling said a bunch of like super sexist
Yeah,
or not
and
sexist,
transphobic. Yeah,
I was to say
she's
homophobic or transphobic shit, but
which is
um,
we'll get into we'll probably get into this like when we go over the final film and like have final thoughts.
yeah. But
Fuck, she diverged so hard from like the original
yeah.
story.
By the time you guys see this episode, it'll be the Wednesday before New Year's Eve. So that's why we're dressed like this. Very dapper. Gotta have my dapper Dan.
Yeah, your pomade.
we fucking love you guys. This is we gotta be coming up on close to a year now, right?
This is episode 47, and guys, we're not necessarily changing anything, but we are going to call this our season finale. To end season 1, we're kind of going to go just like year by year, and as we grow, we will be changing. I know that there's some to keep it more exciting than just like film breakdowns and stuff like that and interviews. I know that there's a lot of like segments that we want to introduce. It's not going to happen next week, but in season 2, starting next week, we're going to, make some adjustments to dive into different aspects of the nerd world and everything like that. So first off, thank you for being here for season 1. This has been incredible. We've learned so much and we've grown so much, and we still have no idea what we're doing. It's fantastic. We absolutely love it. We wouldn't have it any other way.
We just drink and talk shit. What do you mean?
Yeah.
We just drink and talk shit.
We're just going to have different topics to talk shit about as we move forward. So it's,
Yeah. We also have I spoke with this person myself. I won't say his name until he's on the show, but we have a potentially very famous movie writer that is going to be on our show after the holidays.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to fucking do that. Oh my God.
And introduce you guys to, that's a huge one. Obviously, it's very secretive right now. That's all we can really say about it. But we have a lot of guests that we have, kind of in the books, but not officially yet, that we're working with to bring you guys more aspects of, well, all things nerd. Not to be cheesy, but just to introduce you guys to different things that are nerdy and influence the world that we hold dear. And with that being said, we also have our Patreon page. So if you guys want to be a part of exclusive, full, unedited episodes that get very off track from time to time, and so much more, and all of our merch and behind the scenes stuff, join that. Or if you just want to get some stuff that says all things nerd and has some cool stuff, let us know. We're trying to give you guys what we would want to see. And so with that, we're gonna go ahead and close out this episode for you guys.
With that being said, guys, this is our last episode of the year of 2021. We love you guys. And cheers. Fucking thank you for listening for as long as you have been to our drunk ramblings about comics and movies and TV shows. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and we can't wait to see you guys in 2022. Woo!
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit, my bad. This has been the All Things Nerd Podcast.
Well, just cheers your cocktail glass for that. Yeah.
This has been the All Things Nerd Podcast.
Cool.